Drake is done for. I'm not talking about losing a rap battle. I'm talking about being exiled from the global stage permanently. People are saying the president of FIFA just put the final nail in the OVO coffin, and he did it in front of 4 billion people. This whole situation has the internet spinning because the most powerful man in sports just picked a side in the Kendrick beef, and the disrespect level is straight up catastrophic. If you thought 2024 was bad for the boy, 2026 just turned into a horror movie. What's good, fam? We are watching a massive global shift unfold in real time. Everybody thought they knew the full story about the Kendrick and Drake situation. We thought it stayed inside the rap world. We thought it was just about bars, beats, and a few diss tracks. That was the version everyone repeated for the last 2 years. But new footage and a savage move from Zurich have got the whole narrative twisting into something way darker. The game didn't end when Not Like Us dropped. The game actually ended the moment Gianni Infantino, the president of FIFA, decided to start trolling Drake on the world stage. We are seeing a coordinate strike. Infantino is moving like a certified Kendrick fan, and his recent actions are easily the most disrespectful thing I have seen in 2026. While the OVO camp hoped their leader would reclaim his status with this new Iceman persona, control slipped away on March 8th, 2026. That is the day the music stopped. Let me break this down because the evidence is piling up and it looks nasty. It started on March 8th. Gianni Infantino broke his silence on Instagram in a way that felt personal. A fan, probably planting the question, asked him whether he preferred Kendrick or Drake for the World Cup final. Now, usually a corporate suit gives a safe answer. They say both are great or we love all music. Not this time. Instead of playing both sides, Infantino posted a shushing emoji next to a world emoji. Think about that. He told the Toronto rapper to stay quiet while the world watches. That cold-blooded reaction signaled that the real winners are taking the stage while Drake gets left behind in the dust. And before you say, oh, maybe he didn't mean it like that, look at the timing. Nobody can blame a random social media intern for this, because the pattern actually began much earlier in the week. On March 3rd, the FIFA president shared footage of himself walking through MetLife Stadium. He's inspecting the progress for the upcoming big game. Standard stuff, right? Wrong. The wildest part involved the music selection. He used a mashup, but not just any mashup. He used a mix of Not Like Us and First Person Shooter. But listen closely to the edit. The edit specifically cuts Drake's verse right as the beat drops into the Kendrick anthem. No executive in the music industry would ever make a direct comparison like that by accident during a major rollout. Industry experts view this social media activity as a calculated response to the outcome of the 2024 beef. FIFA is using Drake's current reputation as a punchline to drive global engagement. Millions of views flooded that MetLife video because the public enjoys watching a giant fall. The organization is feeding that energy to keep the North American market excited. Fans online turned into investigators immediately. They started slowing down the frames of that MetLife video. They're zooming in on the papers Infantino was holding. And get this, online detectives swear that one of the documents visible in the clip has the Rock Nation logo printed right next to the FIFA crest. We're talking about a 95% match on the logo design. The speed of this narrative flip is truly wild because FIFA understands the power of playing that specific Kendrick anthem right now. Not Like Us serves as the official theme song for anyone winning against the odds. Hearing it during a stadium walkthrough feels like a direct strike to the OVO brand. Even though Drake attempted to pivot with those recent snippets and his new branding, the world refuses to buy it since the culture moved on months ago. FIFA functions as a massive machine that only follows the money and the influence, and currently, all that power sits squarely on Kendrick's side of the fence. Millions of people are watching the FIFA president dance on his grave, which proves that the failed response from the Toronto rapper carries permanent consequences. And then, the smoking gun. The true power play came to light on March 4th, 2026. FIFA hosted a high-level meeting at the FIFA headquarters located in Zurich. Who was there? Representatives from Rock Nation. They attended that meeting to discuss a massive expansion of the Super Bowl entertainment model for the global stage. Jay-Z and his team have been running the halftime show for the NFL for years, and now they're bringing that same intensity to the World Cup. This situation creates a nightmare for Drake because Roc Nation manages Kendrick Lamar and serves as the primary consultant for the 2026 halftime show. While the boy tries to leak songs to stay relevant, Kendrick is being positioned as the face of the biggest sporting event on the planet. Reports from that meeting suggest that FIFA offered Kendrick a record-breaking $15 million fee to headline the final at MetLife Stadium on July 19, 2026. Having Jay-Z involved as a consultant for this global event represents a massive win for Kendrick and the entire PG Lang camp. Now, let's get into the motive, because this is where everything starts clicking. Why would FIFA, a global soccer organization, care about a rap beef? Money, pure and simple. FIFA isn't doing this for the culture, they are doing it for the currency. Leaked internal memos circulating among industry insiders show that the numbers behind this decision are more calculated than anyone realized. These documents point to the 1.5 billion streams Kendrick and Drake generated in 2024 as the ultimate proof of commercial power. But here is the catch. They analyzed the sentiment of those streams. Drake's numbers? They were hate watches. They were people checking to see if he failed. Kendrick's numbers? They were anthems. They were celebrations. FIFA wants to be associated with the celebration, not the funeral. FIFA is not just playing favorites for fun, but they are looking at raw data and seeing that this beef represents a goldmine. This realization sparked a pivot in their partnership with Global Citizen, which originally started in September of 2024 to fight poverty. Infantino transformed that mission into a cultural showdown designed to attract younger viewers who are obsessed with the drama. Think about it. These dudes went from being peers to being on opposite sides of history. Back in their peak, people say they were pulling in equal numbers, but now, Drake reportedly is scrambling to find a hit that sticks. Meanwhile, Kendrick is out here showing stability and cultural dominance. That contrast is exactly what FIFA is selling. The strategy shifted again on February 24, 2026. Infantino met with Apple Music executives to secure exclusive streaming rights. They discussed the World Cup halftime series, which aims to turn the performance into a cinematic event, with Kendrick occupying the center. Rumors about a potential battle of the brand's marketing campaign started flying by March 5, 2026. This campaign would feature OVO and PG Lang for exclusive merchandise, but not as equals. The plan forces Drake to share the spotlight with the man who took his crown, but as the antagonist. Industry leaders treat their beef like a high-stakes athletic competition where only one person can walk away as the champion. It is a genius move from a business perspective, but seeing his personal losses turned into the marketing strategy for jerseys feels exhausting. FIFA is making it clear that the beef is the biggest selling point they have for the North American market right now. They intend to squeeze every single dollar out of this rivalry before the final whistle blows. Kendrick and his PG Lang brand receive the same level of respect as a major sports franchise, while OVO looks like a struggling challenger. This cultural showdown will likely become the most watched event in sports history because Kendrick won the round that mattered most. Infantino is playing for keeps with this rap diplomacy strategy, and he is turning this beef into a permanent piece of the FIFA legacy. He realized that the drama between Kendrick and Drake is the perfect fuel to turn that July 19th final into the most watched event in human history. By making this rivalry part of the institution, FIFA is making sure even people who do not care about soccer will be tuned in to see this cultural war. While Drake is out here fumbling with that Iceman rebrand and those weird snippet leaks that nobody wanted, Kendrick has become the only choice for the global stage. International organizers and critics agree that Kendrick represents the actual heart of the culture, while Drake is looking like a corporate mascot who lost his spark. That kind of fall-off hits different. It's not just about sales anymore, it's about relevance. But here's the part that really hits different. This isn't just business, it's humiliation. Rolling Stone dropped a massive bombshell on February 18, 2026 that reveals exactly how much respect the Sixth God has lost lately. This report detailed his actual involvement in the upcoming tournament, and the news sounds incredibly embarrassing for the OVO camp. FIFA reportedly offered Drake a legacy slot in the opening ceremony instead of the prestigious halftime show position he probably expected. Let that sink in. A legacy slot. That is the corporate way of saying oldies. That is the slot they give to artists who are considered past their prime, whose best days are in the rearview mirror. Drake belongs in that category now, according to FIFA. Feeling like a total slap in the face, the offer targets a man who once controlled the entire industry. Now the situation gets even savager because the opening ceremony offer only happens if and only if Drake agrees to participate in a tournament featuring a Kendrick Lamar halftime show. Insiders describe this as a no-win trap for the Toronto rapper. Think about the psychology of that. If he says yes, he is admitting Kendrick is the bigger star. He is opening for the man who destroyed him. He is warming up the crowd for the main event, which is his enemy. If he decides to say no, he misses out on the biggest global platform in sports history. He looks bitter. He looks scared. He looks like he's hiding in his mansion while the world parties without him. It's a nightmare scenario. We are talking about a man's ego being dismantled on a contractual level. That's messed up. You can feel the desperation in the silence coming from his camp. Every day that passes without a decline or an acceptance is another day the world laughs. Seeing the FIFA boss and the Roc Nation team together in Zurich provides the ultimate sign that the industry has finally chosen its side. Drake got relegated to the background while the adults in the room started making deals that will define the next decade of entertainment. Now, this whole situation gets even crazier when you realize how badly the Iceman rebrand is failing. Drake tried to switch it up. He tried to come out with this cold, detached persona. He delayed the album. He posted those cryptic captions. He wanted us to believe he was unbothered, frozen in time, cool under pressure. But the streets aren't buying it. Failed responses and those constant Iceman delays destroyed his credibility with global organizers who do not have time for his antics. These massive corporations clearly see that Kendrick holds the cultural momentum and the respect of real fans, while Drake gets treated like a museum exhibit. It is a cold reality for the Toronto rapper to realize his influence in the sports world is evaporating because he could not handle the heat. Every time Drake leaks a new snippet or acts unbothered on his story, these global partners lean even further into the Kendrick camp. They want stability and the person who currently wins the hearts of the youth. Let's keep it real. Everything is speculation until the contracts are signed, but the leaked footage from the Apple Music meetings tells a story. Sources say the Apple executives were specifically asking for cinematic authenticity. That's the buzzword, cinematic authenticity. Does Drake give you authenticity right now? Or does he give you a filtered, curated, desperate attempt to hold on to 2018? Kendrick's successful Super Bowl set in February of 2025 proved he could handle the pressure of a massive audience without gimmicks. He just rapped, he stood there and delivered. FIFA wants that same level of cultural impact, so they are willing to pay a premium to secure the man who actually won the war. Meanwhile, fans online been working like full-blown investigators regarding Drake's silence. They're tracking his flight paths. They noticed Air Drake hasn't touched down in Europe in months. Is he banned? Is he avoiding the embarrassment? The coordination between FIFA and Roc Nation shows they are looking to institutionalize the beef as part of the marketing for the entire tournament. Kendrick evolved beyond being just a rapper because he now represents a global ambassador for the culture, while Drake looks like a legacy act. That is not something people used to care about, but now it's the only thing people talk about. Power shifted completely inside that Zurich headquarters because Jay-Z is currently drawing up the master plan for hip-hop in front of 4 billion football fans. This decision cements Kendrick as the only real choice for that international platform. And honestly, it means Drake has no ground left to talk about his streaming stats or popularity. A $15 million performance fee makes it clear that Kendrick is the top-tier artist in hip-hop today. And this story is still unfolding with way bigger implications than just one incident. What we're seeing here is how the corporate world weaponizes culture. This isn't just about rap anymore. This is rap diplomacy. FIFA is not just looking at the songs, they are acknowledging a massive cultural win that started in the streets and ended in the highest corporate boardrooms. When Infantino posted that shushing emoji, it signaled the start of a complete wipeout of any OVO influence regarding the World Cup. The entire industry is moving right now to distance itself from the loser of the beef. Kendrick holds all the control, with support from the most influential industry players, and that creates a distance Drake can never fix with weak leaks or petty Instagram captions. Everything is set for the July 19th date, which will be the final victory lap for Kendrick Lamar. Looking back at May of 2024 shows just how far Drake has fallen since Infantino spent time posting photos with him. Remember those pics? Official statements from the FIFA president claimed football unites the world back then, but the temperature shifted once the beef started getting real. Before we move on and see how Drake's ego officially fumbled his corporate bag, you have to realize that Jay-Z's involvement changes the physics of the situation. Jay-Z doesn't back losers. Roc Nation doesn't invest in declining stocks. The fact that they are consulting on this means the script is already written. Kendrick is standing on business at the highest level, and he is doing it without any of those thirsty marketing tactics we see coming from the OVO camp every day. The boy from Toronto is trying to act like his Iceman persona is some kind of evolution, but he is just frozen out of the conversation that actually matters. When you have the president of the largest sporting organization in the world trolling you on Instagram, you know the vibes are beyond repair for real. Kendrick does not need to release a single snippet to stay relevant, because the biggest stages in the world are already being built for him. July 19th is going to be a day of reckoning for anyone who thought Drake could still claim the throne after the embarrassment he suffered in 2024. The world has chosen its champion, and it definitely isn't the guy making dance videos in a mansion. That billion stream strategy is working exactly how FIFA intended, and it leaves Drake in a position where he's just a supporting character in the story of Kendrick Lamar. Let's recap the trap one more time, because it's diabolical. Drake has two choices. Choice A, accept the legacy slot. He performs at the opening, he smiles, he waves, he collects a check. And then, a few weeks later, he watches from the VIP box or from his couch as Kendrick Lamar performs the halftime show of the final. The whole world compares the two performances. Kendrick in his prime with Jay-Z's production value, Drake playing the old hits looking like a nostalgia act. He validates Kendrick's victory by participating in Kendrick's tournament. Choice B, he declines. He says, "I'm too big for this." He tries to spin it as him being above the World Cup, but nobody will believe that. Everyone will know he ran. Everyone will know he was too scared to share the same zip code as the boogeyman. He looks weak, he looks defeated. This move by FIFA proves that Kendrick Lamar's victory has moved past the music industry and straight into the world of global sports and international diplomacy. That is a massive level of influence that most artists could only dream of reaching, and it shows that the world finally values authenticity over a curated image. Drake thought he could just buy his way back to the top, but the global community is showing him that respect is earned through the work and not just the numbers. Moving this whole thing into the World Cup arena is the final confirmation that the power has shifted for good. Stay locked in, because this story is about to get even crazier. More details are dropping, more clues are surfacing, and reports say that the official announcement from FIFA is coming any day now. We're waiting to see if Drake takes the bait. Will he walk into the trap, or will he fold? The rap diplomacy of Johnny Infantino has officially crowned a winner, and Drake is left out in the cold without a jacket to keep him warm. Kendrick Lamar has proven that being the best lyricist of the world can open doors that money simply cannot touch. This World Cup is going to be the biggest moment in hip-hop history, and it is all thanks to the fact that Kendrick stood his ground. The cultural showdown is about to reach its peak on the global stage, and we are all here to witness the final outcome. So, drop your thoughts in the comments. I need to hear from y'all. Is this tournament offer a straight-up trap, or is the boy just scared of Kendrick? Do you think Drake should swallow his pride and take the legacy slot, or should he stay home? Tell me in the comments, no cap. And while you're at it, make sure to like the video, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single update, because we're covering every twist that comes out. I appreciate you for rocking with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe out there, and remember, the internet never forgets, and FIFA definitely doesn't forgive.